All right, today we're building the ultimate playbook for anyone who wants to break into consulting. We're going to zero in on how you can absolutely ace that case interview. So, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why a one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't work. Then, we'll build your foundation, making sure you master the core case types. After that, we get into the advanced stuff, adapting to each firm's unique style, using your background as a huge advantage, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with a clear action plan that'll take you straight from prep to that job offer. Okay, let's jump right in. You have to get this one thing straight from the start. Success in these interviews isn't about memorizing a bunch of frameworks from a book. No, it's all about strategy, and that strategy has to be tailored. And hey, a huge welcome to all the students tuning in from the AUB Consulting Case Interview Prep course, and really to any aspiring consultant from Lebanon. We've put this whole thing together specifically for you to give you a real, tangible edge. So, what's the secret sauce? The winning formula? Well, it's really a three-part strategy. First, you've got to have rock-solid core case skills. Second, you have to know how to tweak that approach for each specific firm. And third, you layer on your unique regional knowledge. You nail all three of those, and you're not just another person in the interview room. You are the top candidate. All right, let's start building this out, starting with the two case types that are truly the foundation of every single consulting interview out there. You have got to know these inside and out. You know, it's interesting. When you boil it all down, these interviews really revolve around two main formats. First, you've got market sizing questions. People call them guesstimates. These are like quick little logic puzzles designed to see how you think on your feet. And then you have the big one, business cases. These are the deep dives, the full simulations of a real client problem. Now, for any guesstimate, this four-step process is your lifeline. Seriously, don't skip a single step. First, clarify everything. Make sure you know exactly what you're being asked. Second, map out your logic. Think of it like drawing a roadmap before you start driving. Third, calculate, but use nice round numbers to make your life easier. And finally, and this is crucial, sense check your answer. Does it feel right? Does it seem reasonable? This shows you're not just a calculator, you have business sense. And this quote really gets to the heart of it. The interviewer doesn't actually care if you know the exact number of coffee shops in Beirut. What they're testing is how you arrive at an answer. Can you take a fuzzy, ambiguous question, break it down into logical steps, and build a case for your final number? Your thinking process. That's what's being graded. Okay, let's talk about maybe the single most important tool in your toolkit, especially for firms like Bain and BCG. It's the hypothesis-driven approach. Instead of trying to analyze everything, you start with an educated guess. You say, my hypothesis is that profits are down because of a price war. Then your entire analysis is focused on proving or disproving that one thing. It keeps you focused, it's efficient, and it's exactly how consultants solve problems in the real world. Okay, you've got the foundation down. Now we get to the really advanced stuff. See, it's not enough to just know how to solve a case. You have to know how to adapt to the firm you're talking to, because trust me, they all play the game a little differently. And here is the single biggest difference you need to prepare for. You've got McKinsey on one side. Their style is interviewer-led. They're in control, they'll ask you a series of specific questions, and your job is to nail each one with a clear, structured answer. Then you have Bain and BCG. They're candidate-led. They'll give you a big, messy problem, lean back, and basically say, okay, what do you want to do? It's on you to structure the problem, ask for the data, and drive the whole thing forward. You have to prep for these two styles completely differently. And hey, just a heads up, especially as you get into leader rounds, they might throw some curveballs at you. You could get a written case where you get a stack of documents and have to build a presentation. Or you might get a group case where they put you in a room with other candidates to see how you work together. They want to know, can you be a team player under pressure? All right, now for my favorite part. This is where you can truly separate yourself from the thousands of other applicants around the world. Let's talk about how to turn your Lebanese background into your secret weapon. So let's just reframe this right now. Being from Lebanon, that's not just a fact for the small talk part of the interview. In the context of Middle East consulting, it is a powerful strategic asset, and you need to know exactly how to use it. So how do you do it? First, research. Find out what projects the Dubai, Riyadh, or Doha offices are actually working on. In fast-growing regions, market entry cases are super common, so be ready for them. Second, play to your strengths. Drop in a relevant comment about local culture or the regional economy. Show them you have insights that someone flying in from New York just won't have. And finally, you have to nail your delivery. Practice out loud, over and over, until you sound like a polished, confident professional. Because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. The interviewer is asking themselves one simple question the entire time. Could I trust this person in a room with my most important client? Your answer, your structure, your confidence, it all has to scream yes. It's an audition for the real job. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground. The core skills, the firm-specific tweaks, and your unique regional advantage. Let's pull this all together into one final crystal clear action plan. So what does it take to actually succeed? First, you got to put in the hours. The consensus is around 50 to 100 hours of solid case practice. Second, get your mental math lightning fast. There's no calculator in the interview room. And third, don't forget the fit interview. You need powerful personal stories that connect your experiences directly to why you want to be a consultant. And finally, here's how you stick the landing on every single case. Don't just fade out at the end. Deliver a powerful CEO-level summary using the RRRN format. Start with your recommendation. Be direct. Back it up with your top 3 reasons. Then show you're a strategic thinker by acknowledging the risks. And finally, tell them the clear next steps. This is how you leave them impressed. And there you have it. That is the complete playbook for cracking the consulting case interview. We've laid out all the strategies. The only question left is, how are you going to use them to go out and get that offer?